Hello, hello, and welcome to the Wiz This Is Release Show. This is all about releasing dis-ease in our minds, in our bodies, in our belief system that's holding us back and keeping us from being the person we were meant to be or living the bigger, better life that we're meant to have. So today, if you're looking at how can I release dis-ease, join me here, Joyce Odidison, with the dis-ease release show. I am so excited that you've joined, and please feel free to share this with friends, colleagues, and family members. Now, today I want to focus on dis-ease thoughts that come up for us, like having a dis-ease mind. So this person in my life that I have a relationship with, a family member, and we'll just leave it at that, has what we call a diseased mind. This person has anxiety and will focus on the negative of every particular situation. There isn't a situation that person can see positively and say, oh wow, look at that, how positive, that's exciting. This person will look at everything, oh, I can't believe this, look at that, like how horrible, who would do that? And it is unfortunate, very, very unfortunate for that person. And this has clouded their entire life. This person is someone that I would like to look up to, but just is not able to because of this particular issue. And this has impacted their life in every aspect, their relationships, their children, their friendships, and their health. And I don't know if you have someone like that in your life this morning that you know, when you think about this, that it gets you to start thinking, oh, wow, I know someone like that. It's so sad that people like that are more common than we would like to believe. But I usually say, and when my clients, bring that up to me and said, oh, but this person, I say, you know what? These people have a job to do on the planet. Their job is to have those diseased mind, and it's our job as individuals to not get infected by them. And so there are a number of ways that you can keep yourself from being infected or affected by these individuals and their diseased minds and the just the negative energy they bring and the distractor. They detract from every relationship, every transaction, every conversation is diseased, and it's like a poison that seeps into your soul, and you have to protect yourself. I don't care if that person is your father. I don't care if it's your big sister. I don't care if it's your mother, your grandmother, your auntie, your uncle, your best friend, God forbid. I want to tell you, you have a responsibility to protect yourself from these people because that's their job. And you have to find your own job in life. Your job at no point is ever going to be correcting or fixing those people. So I want you to get that clear in your mind. Do not take it upon yourself to try to fix those people. It could be your boss. It could be your coworker. It could be the president of your company. It could be that person on your church board, that elder in your church. It doesn't matter who it is. Your job is not to fix them. So when you start getting angry about that person's behavior and their actions and their comments and their conversations, I want you to have this word in your mind to say, I am taking on their job. I am now making their issue my job. It is not your job. I remember, in my younger life, I thought that was my job, to fix this person, to get this person. And I finally saw the light and realized, hey, that is not my job. That is not my responsibility. This person is responsible for themselves. I can kindly say that's a very negative way to look at this. And is there a more positive way to look at this? I see it from a more positive perspective. So the glass is full on my end, but if you want to keep it half empty on your end, I am, good for you, but just be aware that you're going to attract all that comes with. And I leave that person with that and let them know that every action has a consequence. So if they continue to choose to see the world through a negative, diseased mind and frame of reference, then everything that they attract, the diseases, the ill health, the obesity, the lack of relationships, the dysfunction in their life is all going to be part of the way they see the world and what they attract into them. My job is to not take that on and start trying to fix that person, because then I'm going to exhaust myself. Nobody can be fixed. And I will tell you, I've been a conflict analyst for almost 25 years and I have never fixed anyone. Right? I have some people who come to see me with very conflicted behavior, mindset, attitude, and I have never been able to fix anyone. I've never tried to fix anyone. But for some reason, earlier on, I thought in my younger life that I needed to fix that person. So I have long weaned myself from that concept. And as I've matured in my profession, in my career, and become more enlightened, I have given up the ownership of trying to fix that person or change their mindset. People will only change when they no longer are getting the results or the satisfaction that they're getting from what they're doing. This person behaving that way have come up with a way to feel sorry for themselves, to enjoy their misery and live in that negative, sickly, diseased, functional world that they've created for themselves and in their mindset. So these people have a belief system that says, I am not good enough, I am ugly, I am not worthy, nobody likes me, I'm not important. And that's their belief system. Those are the belief system. So they draw thoughts, right? Those belief systems, remember we talked earlier about belief systems are like that bucket you put out to capture the raindrops that are falling. With the raindrops, we equate to thoughts. Thoughts will fall into our mind like raindrops. And when those thoughts drop in and they have those belief systems that wah, 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 negative, whoa, poor me, wah, 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 that's what they're going to catch. And we know there's nothing that grow as fast as thoughts. Thoughts are like, if you want to think about weeds growing, thoughts grow faster than weeds. So thoughts will multiply and they will grow on each other. And this person will now have a story about woe them and how unlucky they are and how unliked they are. And it's not that they are unliked, it's that people don't want to spend time with that miserable disease behavior and attitude and mindset that they bring to the world and they bring to every conversation and they bring to every exchange. Just this inability to see anything positive, the inability to accept anything as good. It's their belief system is so, there is such a cloak of negativity around them, and their belief system is so entrenched that it dispels everything positive. And when you have those people in your life, you need to set boundaries. So one of the pieces that you can get from my website is the healthy boundary checklist. It is so important to put these kinds of people in boundaries, because you need to put those boundaries around them. Otherwise, they're going to suck the life out of you. They're going to take every good energy you have out of you. And it's like feeding into a dark, bottomless pit. Because nothing you can do can change them. Nothing good you give them is going to last, because they will be joyful for a minute. Oh, how nice of you. This is good. And 5 minutes later, there will be gone me and the world is ending. And that's their happy place. So some people have come to the point where they have developed such a crusty, diseased atmosphere and the attitude that they cannot get out of that. It's like it's a cancer of the mind. And so we need to learn to set boundaries around those persons. Boundaries, healthy boundaries to keep us healthy, because we cannot make them healthy. They have to choose to want to get out of the unhealthy mindset situation, and everyone around them is telling them this is negative, this is unhealthy, this is not good, this is a diseased way of looking at the world. And they continue to be comfortable there. They continue to stay there. They continue to be there because it's feeding them some way, somehow. Some people actually are fed by dysfunction. They love the dysfunction that they're in. They love that they are in that place where they are unhappy because now they have something to celebrate. They have something. They love when they're not well because they can tell everybody. They love when they have a pain because they now have something to tell anybody who called them. No matter how gross and disgusting their situation is, to them, that is good news to share with the world. And so you have to set healthy boundaries around yourself. Otherwise, you're going to get consumed and eaten up into that dark, bottomless pit. And it's important, if you are choosing to go there, then you have to make a choice and you have to take care of yourself and you have to prepare a way to get out. So when you're going to be with those people, you need to psych yourself up, prepare yourself, and have an exit strategy to get out of that exchange healthy and still remain healthy and still have a mind of ease and well-being. Otherwise, they drag you. And there is a saying that misery likes company. And so when you leave their presence, while you are in their presence, you become diseased. And when you leave them, you are diseased because you're frustrated because of the negative and unhealthy atmosphere you just allowed yourself to be into. So you have to see encounter and exchanges with them as a gift. They need to be around those of us who are healthy and have a healthy mind and have a positive attitude. They actually admire that. They want you to like being in their presence so that they can bring you in and suck you dry and infect you with their disease. That's their whole strategy. That's how they live. It's almost like, they're like leeches. Right? They come on you and they leech your positive energy and vibrations out of you. And they go one step worse than the leech because instead of just taking and go, they actually infect you. So they're more like the mosquitoes, the malaria mosquito that infects you with a disease. So you are now diseased just from being around them. So you're infected for the week because you had a conversation with them. And it reverberates through your mind and your body, and you anchored into the mire of destructiveness. And over the years, continuously, I've seen this and I've worked with clients, and I've always encouraged them to set up those healthy boundaries and set up those time and put boundaries around when you're going to interact with these people, the length of time you're going to interact with them, the attitude you go into the interaction with, and how you exit the interaction or the exchange. Mind you, they are always going to want to have the last word, and they're always going to want to control the dialogue and the exchange. Because you have to remember, these people are completely unaware of themselves. They lack self-awareness. If you were to tell them or describe to them how they are, they will not even understand what you're talking about. If you describe to them what you get from them, they'll be like, really? That you're just coming up with that and that. So you would actually walk away, feel like you are the diseased person. So you need to protect your well-being from those who will leech it away from you. protect your mind and your sense of ease and well-being is very, very precious and important, and you should be protecting it from diseased people who have a sense of disease, anxious, anxiety, and negativity that draws away and pulls away from you and want to take from you all the time. It's very, very important to do that. If you take nothing away from what I say, remember to protect yourself, because that, my friend, is your biggest weapon, is your self-protection. And putting those boundaries around you, setting up yourself in a place where you can say, you know what? It's time for me to exit this conversation. It was lovely talking with you. I think our positive time has ended. My job, and you have to start seeing your job as to sow little seeds of positive energy, because they're going to soak up on that, because that is their lifeline, and they're going to want to give you back some negative ones, and you have to escape the exchange before you start soaking it up, because there are some ways that you can soak it up. There are a couple of ways you have to look at: frustration, anger, resentment, self-disgust. Those are some ways you can soak up their disease, because you will start feeling, anger towards yourself or anger at them and how they're behaving. Right? You can start feeling frustrated because they are not seeing, or they're not listening, or they're not willing to change. Right? You may start feeling a sense of self-loathing, like, why did I even try? Why am I bothered? Or you're going to just be banging your head against the wall. So you have to really watch for those and try not to get yourself in those states. And really, really, before you see it come in, just sow your little seed of love and kindness and positivity into the well of darkness. And if you're a hopeful person, you will try to do that. And if you're a person without where you've lost hope and don't believe in miracles, you may avoid them totally. But if they are in your network and they're family members, and you can't do that, or they're in your community and they still need someone to check in on them and to interact with them, then you have to, right? Sometimes you just absolutely have to. They're in your community or in your face, and you have to interact with them. So if you can do anything to guard your interaction, shorten the length of time you spend in their presence, the kinds of conversations you want to have or topics that you want to discuss, and quickly identify, sorry, I don't think this is a topic that we should be discussed. I am not comfortable discussing it. Quite okay to step out of that, right? Spend time. I wanted to just call for 5 minutes to check in on you. And, my 5 minutes is almost up. Just any last thing, and you go. So you really need to really, really be careful around that, because it's so easy. I know for myself, I do this work, and I'm a very strong person. I'm very disciplined. I have clear boundaries. And from time to time, you can get yourself caught. I get myself like, what just happened? How did I get? So I know how easy it is to get sucked into that nonsense. And so I want to encourage you, if you're fortunate like me to be in a relationship with people like that in your life who are just happy being diseased of the mind, then you need to learn how to deal with that in a positive, healthy way, so that you're not always angry and frustrated and upset and resentful and name calling and badgering. You need to really step out of that and know that these people are comfortable in their particular trait of disease, and this is something that they've grown, they've put years, they've developed, they've worked at. Just think of your skills. Like, what are your expertise at? That's their expertise. That's their job. And so your expertise need to become that of self-preservation, mind preservation, right? Maintaining your ease and well-being of your mind, and your time, the kind of things you want to talk or discuss with them, and the length of time you want to spend in their presence. All of those things are very, very important, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself caught up in a negative web that they've got. And you may look at those people, and they tend to have very negative web of relationships where they're always in conflict with others. They're always fighting and verbal fight and getting into cussing and all of those kinds of things. And if you don't want to be in that, you have to be very careful, very particular on how you're going to execute yourself in those relationships so you don't become, because it's very easy for them to draw you into their web of dysfunction, because that's what they're used to, that's what they're comfortable with, that's their expertise. They spent years designing that and creating that, and they just go right there because that's their comfort zone. And you have to now become an expert at self-preservation, knowing your values, setting goals for yourself, maintaining healthy boundaries, setting your limits, and become an expert at self-preservation and maintaining your ease in your own mental ease and well-being, so that you don't get sucked up into that negativity and that dis-ease place that they are. So think about that and sit down and make up a list of the boundaries you need to have around yourself in that relationship, the things you need to protect, the type of conversations that you no longer want to have with that person. All of those are really, really important. So go ahead, try that out and journal. Start journaling, looking at your exchange with that person, and start weaning yourself from that negative connection so that you can transform to have more positive connections with that person, and you can become an expert at diffusing those dis-ease interactions, exchanges, and relationships, so you can maintain your sense of ease and well-being in your mind and in your life. So a couple of things I want to share with you quickly. I am hosting the Dis-ease Release coaching session today. This is a free coaching session, comes up at noon, August the 19th. If you haven't registered yet, please do so. There's very limited time to do so. And if you are also looking for boundaries ideas, you can check out my website. On our homepage, you will find the Dis-ease Release. There is a little ebook that you can click on that, and that will take you through that piece and help you to get that checklist that you can use to maintain your boundaries, and get out your journal and start just putting it out there. What are you observing? Who are those people in your life? And how are you going to set boundaries around them to maintain your wellness? This is Joyce Odidison, interpersonalwellness.com and joyceodidison.com. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope this show today helped you to maintain your well-being, your sanity, and your ease and well-being in your mind. Take care and be well. Bye now.